sad. It's really worrying that sometimes we can only find joy through somebody's pain, or can only find peace through somebody else's agony. Like, oh, thank God it's not just me. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Yetunde. Let's get into this video. So on social media, especially, for a while, there's always been this conversation that I find quite unsettling, and it really shows that social media have got people tripping in real life. I say this because people really think they have the right to ask how somebody makes their money. And not just asking how someone makes their money, but they think that they have the right to know exactly why they make their money this way. I don't know. I guess perhaps because people share a lot on social media. I'm someone that I share quite a few things on social media, but it's not everything I share. And there are people that share how they've made their money, which has been very beneficial in many ways. There has been an unlocking of the gatekeeping for various career paths and for various business paths, which I think is absolutely amazing. But what I don't understand is the entitlement that we all of a sudden have to judge and to extract and to dissect how someone is making their money. I come at this from a point of view where I have often questioned, when I worked in the industry, in the media industry in Nigeria, I enjoyed it. I loved it. It was an opportunity for me to finally do what I've been wanting to do for so long. When I was in the UK, I felt like I hit a wall because I just wasn't given the opportunity. I knew I could do these jobs. I knew I had what it took to do them, but I just wasn't given the opportunity. Every time I'd go for an interview, I'd make it to the point after application after application, interview after interview. In some cases, I did 3 or 4 interviews for the one position, and eventually it would come down to, that person, maybe they wanted to do more in that particular area, or they had a bit more desire to work in maybe post-production or whatever. The fact of the matter is, I knew that my skin color and my name was a problem, not for me, for them. So therefore, I was always constantly meeting that. In this country as well, it's in the UK, I say this country, in the UK or in the West generally, you have to be 10 times better than our white counterparts, because otherwise they will not even see you. That's the reality that I faced. And going back to Nigeria, I was afforded the opportunity to not only do what I've been wanting to do, but to do it from a place of authority and to do it from a place of great creativity and being allowed to express myself in a way that I had never imagined, I look back at my experiences as a producer in TV and the production and working with the production manager in TV. I'm wowed that I got to do all of this. But the reality was, I did all of that, but the money was like this. I was barely getting anything. And I thought it was just me, but having relationships with people, friendships and acquaintances in the industry, I understood that generally, especially in Nigeria, the media industry is doesn't pay as well as it should, as well as our Western counterparts. And, you know, generally we could be doing great work and it wasn't showing in our bank accounts. And, you know, I would then see people that I knew that were doing similar things to me, or, you know, that had been doing similar things to me, but they appeared to be doing very well financially. And I would question, like, my sister, which one? And I had that notion of, because I know that there are some people that, they have sugar daddies, whatever. Let's not quote them. They have sugar daddies, whatever. Some people have sugar daddies, and that's the reality. Some people have sugar daddies. So they have somebody that is helping them, or maybe they have parents. You know, their parents are very well to do, and their parents are also bankrolling them, whatever. But the fact of the matter was, I came to realize that it really was none of my business. Like, it just really was none of my business. I'm not here to justify or to excuse making money immorally. I believe that as a Christian, we have to be accountable for everything that we do. And if our money is made in a way that is wrong, morally wrong, that we have to face God when it comes to that. What I do have a problem with is how people are so vocal to call out people. I say call out because sometimes it's based on nothing. Call out people and accuse them of making their money immorally with little to no evidence, and it having no direct effect on them. I.e., it's not their business. It's really not their business how this person is making their money. And the reason why I'm bringing this to focus is because hardly do I ever hear a man being accused of making his money through a sugar mummy or receiving money from a sugar mummy. I hardly hear about that. But with women, it's very easy to say that, okay, you know, this very hard-working woman, she's doing, you know, she's working really hard, but because, you know, perhaps I've worked in a similar industry and I didn't make that much money, there's no way I'm making that money in a legal way. We have to be very, very careful about the things that we say. And we have to be very careful about this nature of calling out without actual evidence. Overnight success is not success over one night, right? It is literally success over many, often sleepless nights. There is no such thing as overnight success. Sometimes it may seem like somebody has suddenly appeared and they're suddenly doing well or they're suddenly rich. In some cases, yes, especially if you know the person's background, maybe the person is doing untoward things. But there are many cases where somebody has been grinding and working hard and putting their best foot forward, and just generally the grace and favor of God is upon them and they are doing well. So why then are we so quick to accuse them of making their money immorally? It's disturbing. I think that we have to be very careful not to be corrupted by the negative side of social media. There is a joy that we seem to find in knowing that somebody has done something wrong or things are not going well for people. That's bad. It's really bad. It's really worrying that sometimes we can only find joy through somebody's pain, or can only find peace through somebody else's agony. Like, oh, thank God, it's not just me. Oh, thank God. I thought that, you know, check my bank balance and it was so low. I thank God I'm not the only one. Thank God they're broke as well. Thank God. God forbid. You're not broke in Jesus' name. But do you understand what I mean? They say that good news travels fast, but on social media, bad news travels faster. The joy that people have in seeing others being brought down a peg or two, or this person, they think they're so nice. They're always showing off their new car, their new house, they knew this, they knew that. We don't even know where they got the money. Is it your business? Kilo, they don't tie, Lara. Why is it paining you? Why is it hurting you? I'm saying this because we need to be okay with other people doing very well. We need to be okay with that. We need to be okay with not trying to find out the means of how they made that money. It's okay if later on it comes out that the person did this, how does it then affect the cost of Naira to pound? Please help me ask. If later on that we find out that the person was actually getting money from this person, from this source, how does it affect our lives? It doesn't. It doesn't affect our lives in any good way. It doesn't. I want to look at Galatians, because we need to check our hearts, right? Like I said, this year we are intentional about everything, and that includes the posture of our hearts. Our heart posture is so important. Like, our hearts should be in a constant place of gratitude, in constant gratitude to the Lord. And, you know, even gratitude for others, for the things that others have received and the blessings that God has bestowed upon them. We need to be in a place where our hearts are pleased and joyful about it. So that's why I'm talking about this today. In Galatians 6:4, it says, each one should test their own actions. Then they can take pride in themselves alone, without comparing themselves to someone else. For each one should carry their own load. That's it. That's it. Mind your business. It is said, the Lord has said, test your own actions, face your own front. The only thing that we can be very sure of are our own actions and our own reasoning behind our own actions. So if however you're making your money, which I hope is from a legal point and a legal standpoint, and I hope you are also making it from a moral standpoint, that you're able to sleep at night with ease, because the Lord gives his beloved sweet sleep, right? So however you're making your money, as long as you know you're making your money legitimately and you're able to sleep at night with how you're making your money, and you're in right standing with the Lord, right? With how you're making your money, it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. If you do see someone that maybe you are close enough to, and you see that they're making their money in a wrong way, or you know they're doing things that are quite immoral, speak to them. Share the word of God with them. Share the love of Christ with them and tell them, my brother, my sister, this is wrong. This isn't good for your health, your spiritual health, your mental health. It's not good. You need to dial it back. God will not be pleased with this. Don't make your money this way. Let me encourage you to turn away from that. If that's not what we're trying to do here, but we're trying to put people out on the chopping block and watch them crumble from from the stares and from the arrows of others, then we just really aren't getting it. We really aren't getting it. That's we are supposed to be our brother's keeper. And if we find joy in somebody else's pain, or if we're trying to bring people down because we can't understand how they made it, how they're doing well, then we have problem. It's problem. Everything, that's a problem. It's a problem, and we need to stop it. And I just wanted to encourage us to be in a place of joy for ourselves and for others. Be joyful. Be joyful when it says that, there is a season for everything. And that's what the word says. There's a season for everything. There's a time to be joyful and there's a time to be sad. If somebody is being joyful, if someone wants to share that they have bought a new car or bought a new house, celebrate, thank God for them. Thank God for their lives. And the God that did it for them, if that's what you desire, he can do it for you. But do not try to dismantle and say, how did she make the money? Which job is she doing? Me say, I even know her from before. Which one did she even have? Which money did she have? People that are in the West, I don't know if you will be familiar with this, because I guess generally, we have structures put in place in Western countries. Unfortunately for us, a lot of our African countries, the structure, you know, has failed a lot of us. And therefore there are people that, you know, aren't able to get a job as easily as others. And people, you know, people then find themselves, or they've made choices, wrong choices to make money in other ways. And it is very common in countries that, even in, please, it happens here. There's sugar babies in the UK as well, but I'm just saying it's more common in Africa. It's common in Nigeria anyway, as far as I'm aware, and it happens. And I'm saying that's one of the reasons. Some people have made that choice, and that is their choice. But we need to stop trying to find ways of bringing people down under the guise of being real, girl. Let's be real. No, being real is being real with love. Come with love. If you're coming with attack and no love behind that attack, even the attack, if you're coming with attack, that's even wrong. We should correct people in love. So if you're correcting someone and there's no love in that correction, then what are your motives apart from trying to tear them down and make yourself feel better? And if it makes you feel good to tear someone else down, then you have some serious issues. We've got serious issues. And I'm saying it from a place where I've been in that kind of mindset before, where I felt like, you know, it would be good if somebody wasn't doing as well, because, you know, at least it's not just me. It's not good. That's not it. It's not it. So, you know, I want us to leave here with an understanding that we rejoice with those that are rejoicing, and if those that are mourning, we mourn with them, and those that are, you know, in a place of abundance and God has blessed them, be happy for them. And that doesn't mean that you can't say, oh Lord, please, the Lord that did their own, please do my own. You can do that, but don't try to dismantle what God has done in their life. You don't know. You don't know. Bottom line. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do comment below with your thoughts, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.